Dear AI aspirants, welcome to our channel Alex Tech Projects. Today we try to see the following. First one is we are in the journey of pandas, learning and exploring. And in the previous session we have seen how to read the data from the CSV and Excel. In this one we try to read the data from the CSV, and most important thing is doing the basic inspection on the given data set. The third one is most important, and today our session is revolving around doing the basic inspection on the given data set. So without further delay, now let us jump into the session. The first one is we need to import the Python module. So for this one I am using import pandas as pd. So this is the first step. We try to check it. If the pandas is not installed in you can use a pip install pandas. We have shown this one in the previous session. Please look into it. Now the cell, it has been completed successfully. So now I am storing the data into the df pd read underscore csv. I am using the shift tab to know about the read csv method. So this is the one, and you can come down, scroll down, and you can see the examples also below. They have nicely explained in the document. So for this one we require the file. So for that I am going on to the here. You can see it over here, and we try to get the things. Okay, here is my data sets. It has been located. I am interested in the visa data set. So for this one, first I am taking the path, Control L. Step number 1, I am going over here. I am giving the file path is equal to with the double quotes. Next, I am going to the visa data set. Right click and properties. You can see the properties, and take this visa data set and come over here and append to this one, and again go to here and right click, and you can see the properties, okay, which is the file extension is nothing but the CSV. I am taking over here and hand overing to here. And add a small r out of the double quotes and give the file path inside the read CSV, and after that you can give the df so that it can print. Let us see. So this is the first step. This is nothing but the reading the data from the CSV. The df is a variable, and this, if you want to see the type of this one, you can give type df. This is nothing but the pandas core frame data frame. We normally typically we ignore this one, and we try to say it is the data frame. We try to ignore the first three, and we try to tell them it's a data frame. So the data frame is nothing but the collection of columns and rows, and you can see the first 5 samples it has been printed. After that one dot 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 it has been printed, and the last 5 samples are printed, or the first 5 rows it has been printed, and the last 5 rows it has been printed, and all the columns names it has been printed. You can scroll to this and you can see it. This is the first step where we try to read the data from the CSV. Now we try to do the basic inspection on the given data set. First of all, we try to see it the first 5 samples, how you can see the first 5 samples. For that we have the df. Head is the method. Okay, we can use the shift tab and you can see the explanation. So return the first n rows. If we specify, defaultly it will try to give the first 5 samples. So you can see 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is nothing but the row index. This is nothing but the row index. If you mentioned other than, now I am mentioning the 3, you can only see the 3. If you mentioned as a 13, you can see the 13, but it is starting from 0 and ending to the 12, total 13. Without any argument, it will try to print only the top 5 samples. Now let us move the bottom 5 samples. How you can do bottom 5? That is nothing but the this is the head and this is the tail. So there is one function, it is the tail. You can give the shift tab and you can get the information. Return the last n rows, the last n observations. Okay, now you can see these are nothing but the last n rows. If you mention the argument like 3, last 3 rows. If you mention 13, this is the last 13 from the last. And if you didn't mention any argument, it will default, it will print last 5 observations. First we have covered the head, next we cover the tail. Now let us see the shape. Shape means number of rows, number of columns. df dot shape. Okay, shape, it is printing in a tuple. So now if we can see the type of this one, we can say it's a tuple. The first one is 25,480 is nothing but the samples or observation. 12 is nothing but the columns. This is, I want to get only the rows, then you can do like this. I want to get only the columns, mean you can do like this. Or I want to get the both of them, mean you can do like this. The first one is the row, the second one will be the column. Now I am only interested in the rows, then len of a df. Len is a function which will give the number of observations or number of samples, number of rows. It can give len. Len mean length. Now we have another function that is nothing but the size. You can see 3,05,760. This is nothing but whatever the number of observations into 12. You can see 3,05,760 is a multiplication of a number of rows into number of columns. This is nothing but the number of entries in this table, in this data frame, number of entries in this data frame. So we have seen the shape, len, size. Shape, len and size is one group. Head, tail is one group. Now we try to move to the df dot columns. You can use the tab to get it. So the number of names of any column, it has been printed, but if you can see these names is a list inside the index. Okay, now let us see what is this data type. You can see it's index. We try to ignore the panda score index base. We try to say it is an index. How to convert this one into the list? So now I am taking this df dot columns to you can to list. You can see it over here, to list. Now it has been printed like a list. Okay, you can see it over here. Now we try to see the data types of these columns. Okay, for this one, df.dtypes. You can see the case ID is object, continent is object, similarly unit of a wage is object, privileged wage is a float, year of establishment integer, number of employees is an integer. Object mean it's a string or it's a categorical variable, and integer, float, int 64, float 64, that are nothing but as a numerical. So this way we try to see is whether it's a categorical or a numerical. How to segregate the categorical variable into one list, numerical variable in other list. For that one, we try to create a dictionary and we try to see it. In order to create a dictionary, we are using the dict and we are passing to here, and I am printing D. You can see it. Column names, it has been used as a key, and the data types, it has been used as a values. For I in D types, or we try to give it D if D of I double equal to object colon parent I. See, now we are getting only the categorical variable, or we try to get only the data types which is belongs to the object. Now I am taking this one and I am not equal to, I am doing, you can see it's integer or in numerical variables. Like this we can segregate it. Is available to segregate the columns into the categorical variable or numerical variable. So for that we have a select D types and click this one and go inside. There is include and exclude. What you want to include? Include is equal to object and dot columns. Yeah, and you can see we try to get only the object or categorical variables, and in this one instead of an exclude, so we are getting only the numerical columns. So here we are getting the categorical columns, here we are getting the numerical columns. Now we are going on to the next function, that is nothing but the info. The entire information of the data set we are going to give it. See, it is having 25480. This is nothing but the observations, which is index 0 to 25479, and columns 12 columns. You can see the column name, and 254480 null mean everything is proper, it doesn't have any null values. Okay, so you can see 25480, if it is total entries are not non-null, mean it doesn't have the any null value in the given column. Like this you can read it, and the corresponding data types, object mean categorical, integer float is called as a numerical. So data types, it has been printed. The memory usage is 2.3 MB. So this is the entire information it is giving In the info function, you can use the tab and you can read extra information. You can read it over here. So this is the info. Now if it is having any null values, is there any other function? Df dot is null. See here, you can see is null function. So you can see if the value is present, then it will give the false, true or false in the given entry. For reading this one is very complicated, so I am giving the sum. You can see in the column wise any null values it has been there, it was showing 0. And similarly we have another method that is nothing but is na, not a number. Nan mean not a number, null value. So it is giving the things. So whatever the things we have covered, is na, is null, info, and we are categorizing the columns into the column into the categorical or a numerical by using our method, by using the select dtypes method, and we are converting into the dtypes into the dictionary, and we have done. You can see df dtypes. If you can come over here and you can give the type of this one, okay, you can see it is nothing but the series. Like the CSV file is called as a data frame, and this is the series. Okay, we try to see where convert the columns into the list, and we print the size is nothing but the rows into columns multiplication, len is nothing but the number of observation, shape it is giving both, it is the data type is a tuple, and head is giving the top 5 without any argument, tail you can give the bottom, and you can mention how many you want, but it will always print from the top, and tail it's always print from the bottom. So this functions is nothing but the basic inspection. So now let us summarize it so that it can be very clear. First one will be the head, second one will be the tail, third one what we have seen shape, fourth one we have given len, fifth one is the size, sixth one is nothing but the columns, seventh one is nothing but the dtypes, eighth one we have seen it as an info, and ninth one we have seen is null, sum, or 10th one we have seen is na, sum. So these 10 methods we call it as any given data set, we need to run this one and write observation is nothing but the basic inspection on a given data set. So head, tail, shape, length, size, columns, dtypes, info, is null, is na. So these methods are members we try to apply on a given data frame is called basic inspection. So we have covered today's agenda. We try to meet in the next video. If you like this video, for more interesting updates, please like, share, comment and subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much.